In the quiet village of Temefi, people spoke in hushed tones about a boy named Femi. The villagers referred to him as Omo Esu, meaning the devil's child. From a young age, he was known for strange behavior that made the elders whisper and mothers hold their children close. His mother, Aya Femi, a devoted woman who had prayed for a child for years, refused to believe anything was wrong with him. But even she couldn't ignore that something was different about Femi. Femi was born on an eerie, stormy night, under the full moon's glow. The midwives whispered that such a birth was unusual and might be a sign. As he grew, strange events seemed to follow him. Whenever he got angry, things broke without being touched. Or animals would behave strangely. Some said they saw shadows moving near him, even when no one else was around. It wasn't long before the village began to distance themselves from Aya Femi, warning their children not to play with her son. One afternoon, Femi's mother sent him to fetch water from the village stream. As he reached the stream, a group of boys from the village blocked his path. They sneered, calling him names. Omo Esu, devil's child. They taunted, throwing stones near him. Femi clenched his fists, his eyes burning with anger. Just then, a loud thunderclap echoed through the sky, even though it was a clear, sunny day. Frightened, the boys scattered, leaving Femi alone by the stream. His heart pounding, at home, Aya Femi noticed her son's strange, withdrawn behavior. "Femi, what troubles you, my child?" she asked, her voice tender. Femi only shook his head, his face a mixture of confusion and sadness. He didn't understand why he was different or why people feared him. Days later, a mysterious illness began spreading through Temefi. Children developed fevers, livestock died overnight, and crops withered. The villagers became desperate, seeking answers from the village priest, Boba Eo. Boba Eo. "It is a curse," Boba Eo declared, his voice grim. "There is a spirit among us who angers the gods. We must find the source and cleanse it." The villagers immediately suspected Femi. "It's the devil child," they murmured, fear flickering in their eyes. "Since he was born, nothing good has come to our village." Determined, a group of villagers, led by Boba Eo, marched to Femi's mother's house. They demanded that she bring her son out. Terrified, Femi's mother held Femi close, refusing to let him go. "My son is innocent," she cried, tears streaming down her face. "He is just a boy." But the villagers were relentless, pulling Femi from her arms and dragging him to the village square. As they began a ritual to banish the curse, strange things began to happen. The winds picked up, the skies darkened, and an eerie silence fell over the square. Baba Eo, visibly shaken, tried to continue the chant, but his voice faltered. Suddenly, a loud voice echoed through the crowd. "Enough." The crowd parted as an old, hunched woman, known as Aya Agba, the oldest woman in the village, stepped forward. She was said to have the wisdom of the ancestors, and her word was final. Aya Agba approached Femi, her eyes softening as she looked at the terrified boy. She knelt before him, taking his small hands in hers. "Omomi," she whispered, "do not be afraid." Turning to the crowd, she raised her voice, "This child is not cursed. He carries a gift, a power he does not yet understand." The villagers muttered in disbelief, but Aya Agba silenced them with a raised hand. "The illness, the crops, the fear, all of this is a test from the gods. They are watching to see how we treat those who are different, those who carry their power. If we harm this child, we bring a true curse upon ourselves." The crowd fell silent, and Boba Eo lowered his head in shame. Slowly, the villagers dispersed, leaving Femi and his mother alone with Aya Agba. She looked at Femi's mother with compassion. "Take him far from here," she advised. "Teach him to understand his gift and to use it wisely. Someday, he will return, and this village will realize the blessing they cast aside." With a heavy heart, Femi's mother gathered her belongings, and under the cover of night, she left Temefi with Femi. They journeyed to a distant village, where they were welcomed with kindness. There, Sei grew under his mother's watchful eye and Aya Agba's teachings, learning to control his powers. Years later, Temefi faced a severe drought, and the villagers, remembering Aya Agba's words, called for the boy they once feared. Femi returned as a young man, his presence calm and powerful. With respect and forgiveness, he blessed the land, bringing rain that revived the village. From that day on, they no longer called him Omo Esu but Omo Ibi, the child of destiny, who had returned to save his people.